Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to Arsha Samskruti YouTube channel. Today we will see the topic Jnana Yoga. Under this Jnana Yoga, the four important points are Viveka, Viraga, Shat-sampat, Mumukshutva. These 4 points are also called Sadhana Chatushtayam. The first one, Viveka. Viveka means, I said just now, discrimination. Discrimination between what? The discrimination between Nitya and Anitya. The discrimination between the eternal and non-eternal. The discrimination between the permanent and impermanent. This is the discrimination we need to gain in the path of Jnana Yoga. The second point, Viragaha. What is Viragaha? Viragaha means dispassion. It is also called Vairagya. So dispassion towards what? So Shankaracharya says in the Tattva Bodha textbook, Iha Amutra Artha Phala Bhoga Viragaha. Dispassion for the results of experience here means in this world and in the hereafter. Hereafter means after the death also. See, the people will have the different desires to experience in this world through their 5 senses. And the other kind of desire is, I want to go to the heaven. I want to go to the Swarga. But want to go to the Swarga, it is also a desire, but that desire is not fulfilled while living. So this desire will be fulfilled once after the death only. So hence Shankaracharya says here, the dispassion towards the experiences in this world means while living and after the death also, we should not have any desires. That is called dispassion. Why we need to have the dispassion towards these things? Because they are not permanent. They are not permanent for us. So how can I develop this dispassion? While developing the discrimination, dispassion can be developed. In the discrimination, it is said, discrimination between the permanent and impermanent. So we need to develop the dispassion towards that which is not permanent. So if it is not permanent, how it is going to be useful to us? So what we need is a permanent thing, the eternal things. What is eternal? That which exists in the 3 periods of the time is called eternal. Or we can say in a different way. What is the truth? Truth is nothing but that which exists in the 3 periods of the time. What are the 3 periods? Past, present, and future. If anything that is existing in these 3 periods, that is called truth, that is called eternal. Look at our own body. Is this body is existing in all the 3 periods of the time as the same? Look at your own self 20 years before, how you are and how you are now, how you are going to be after 20 years. So according to the medical science, for every 5 to 6 years, every cell in our body is dying, the new cells are taking place. So that means this is not the same body what you have 20 years ago. And it is not going to be the same body after 20 years ago. It is keeping on changing. The truth never changes. So that's what we need to find out. What is the truth? Am I this body or this body belongs to me? This is a discrimination we need to develop. So first one is the viveka, the discrimination. When you develop the discrimination, dispassion takes place automatically. So what is the third one? Shat sampat. Sampat means wealth. Sampat means it is a wealth. And Shat sampat, Shat means six. So there are six-fold wealth. This six-fold wealth is very much essential to progress in the spiritual sadhana. This six-fold wealth is a very strong supporting for us to reach our goal in the Jnana Yoga. Let us see what are these six sampat. Number one, Shama. Number two, Dhamma. Number three, Vuparati. Number four, Titiksha. Number five, Shraddha. Number six, Samadhanam. These are the six-fold wealth. Let us see one by one. Shamaha kaha. Mano nigrahaha. Gaining the mastery over the mind. We need to train our mind because mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause for your happiness as well as for your sadness. Moksha means the happiness. Bandha means the sadness. So how can I train my mind? That's what we are going to learn in the Jnana Yoga. Kathopanishad says, a trained mind is our friend, a untrained mind is our enemy. Hence, we need to train our mind. This is training our mind or paying attention to our mind is called Shama in another way. Then what is the Dhamma? Chakshuradi Bhahyendriya Nigraha. Dhamma is the control of or mastery over external organs such as eyes and etc. All the sense organs. By chance, if you don't have the mastery over the mind, still we can able to control at the senses level, because whatever you are going to do, whatever the actions you are going to perform, first it comes in our mind. First comes in the form of thought. From the thought, then comes the actions, the implementations. So if we are not able to gain the mastery over the mind at the Shama, at the mind level, suppose it happened, some thoughts came which are not supposed to come in our mind, but these thoughts came already, what we can do? We can control at the senses, not to implement them. That is called Dhamma, gaining the control over external organs. Then comes the third one, Uparamaha kaha. Swadharma anushtanam eva is called Uparama. What does it mean? Observance of one's own dharma. Doing one's own duties is called Swadharma. What does it mean? Little more. Doing what is to be done. That is called Swadharma. Swa means one's own. Dharma means here what is to be done. Swadharma. We need to know what is to be done. To be done at a given place, in a given situation, that you do whether you like it or don't like it. Most of the time, a common man or many people want to do whatever they like. They don't want to do whatever they don't like. Here, Uparama is not talking about what you like, what you don't like. It is talking about what is good for you, what is not good for you. There are many things we may not like, but they are very good to us. There are many things we may like, but may not be good for us. Think about it. So Uparama Swadharma Anushtanam Eva. That means what is to be done at a given time and situation that we need to do. That is called Uparama. So with this, what happens? You will gain certain mastery over your likes and dislikes. Otherwise, the likes and dislikes dictate your behavior all the time. And that is a meaningless life. So we need to follow this Uparama. What to do, what not to do at a given time and situation. Okay. Next one. Titikshaka. What is Titiksha? Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhadi Sahishnutvam. Shita means cold, Ushna means heat, Sukha means pleasure, Dukkha means pain, etc. Sahishnutvam means endurance. So, endurance between the opposites, heat and cold, happiness and sadness. There's a nice, beautiful saying in English. What you cannot cure, you need to endure. That is called Titiksha. There are many things in our life which we cannot change. The things which we cannot change, we need to accept. The things which we can change, we need to change. There is a beautiful prayer. Oh God, give me the strength to change whatever I can change. And oh God, give me the strength to accept the things whatever I cannot change. This is called Titiksha. Next one, Shraddha. Shraddha Kidrushi. What is the nature of Shraddha? Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. Shraddha word we cannot translate in English. We need to take the help of the many words to understand this Shraddha. One is called faith, other one is called trust, devotion, commitment. All these things put together comes the Shraddha. Our Guru Swami Dayananda Saraswati used to say one more extra word here. What is Shraddha? Shraddha is a pending confirmation. It is not that you follow blindly. No, Vedanta never says you follow blindly anything. You accept, analyze and find out the truth, then you can have the trust in it. So without examining, without analyzing, without application, how can you say that I don't believe or I believe? So Shraddha is you need to trust in the beginning and analyze, verify, examine, then you come to a conclusion. Then you can have to, whether you want to follow, you follow, whether you don't want to follow, you need not to follow. But don't jump into the conclusions. So pending confirmation is a Shraddha. So further Shankaracharya says in the Tattva Bodha, Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha. You need to trust the teachings of the Vedas and how your teacher is teaching. The teachings of the teacher as well as the Shastra need to be accepted as a pramana. Shastra is a pramana. The teacher, the Guru, is the handler of the pramana. So beginning, you need to have the trust and verify and see that is there any truth is there or not. Then you come to a conclusion. That is called Shraddha. The last one. Samadhanam Kim. What is Samadhana? That means Chitta Ekagrata is called Samadhana. That means the focusing the mind on one thing. That is called Samadhana. In a other way to say, mindfulness. When you are doing any particular work, we need to do it mindfulness, with concentrating on one that particular thing what you are doing. If you are talking, concentrate what you are talking. If you are listening, concentrate what you are listening. If you are doing something else, you concentrate on that particular thing. This is called chitta ekagrata. One pointedness of the mind is required to gain the knowledge. Hence, it is given under the sampada, shat sampada, one of the sixfold wealth. So far, we have seen what is viveka, what is viraga, what are the shat sampat. Now comes the fourth one, which is called mumukshutvam. So what is the mumukshutvam means? Moksho me bhuyad iti ichha. The desire for liberation is called mumukshutvam. Let us understand this word properly. To understand this mumukshutvam, we need to know two more extra words. One is mumukshu. Moksham ichuhu mumukshuhu. Let us see mumukshu. Moksham ichuhu mumukshuhu. One who is having the desire for moksha is called mumukshu. Moksha means the ultimate happiness. It is like one who drives is called driver. One who writes is called writer. One who speaks is called speaker. Similarly, one who is having the desire for moksha is called mumukshu in the Sanskrit. It is an etymology. Mumukshu is a subject, the person who is desiring to the moksha. What is the object? The object is moksha here. And moksha is something else which this mumukshu want to gain. And for gaining that particular moksha, this mind all the time need to be maintained a state of desire to gain the moksha. This state of mind is called mumukshutva. There are many people who comes to the study of the Vedanta. Some people comes, what Vedanta is teaching, what Upanishads are teaching, just they want to know. They are not interested in that one. They don't have any interest to implement in their life. Just they want to know what is it. Like a one desire, like I want to know this one, I want to know that one, I want to know something else. Similarly, I want to know what is Vedanta. That is not the state of mind which we are discussing here. The state of mind which we are discussing here is, I want that moksha. I want to gain the moksha. That is my goal of my life. So this state of mind is called mumukshutva. When this state of mind is there, so reaching the goal will become easy. Otherwise, mind will get many distractions. Many temptations are in the world. So mind can distract. Hence, the acharyas points out mumukshutva. Okay. So let us summarize all these four. Number one, viveka. Viveka means discrimination. The discrimination between what is real, what is unreal, what is permanent, what is impermanent. Then viraga, the dispassion. Dispassion towards the impermanent things. The dispassion towards that which are not permanent. Then shat sampat is a sixfold wealth which helps us to maintain our viveka and viraga till we reach the goal. Now the fourth one, mumukshutva, a state of mind where the person, the seeker, maintains the goal all the time in his mind. That is called mumukshutva. Thank you for watching our video. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.